Merry Christmas and good morning to you, Mr. Brian Wheeler. Congratulations on taking ownership of a brand new 2016 BMW S1000XR. We're going to go over this machine with you real briefly so that you have a grasp of all the instrumentation and controls before you take off on an exciting new adventure for 2017 on your new XR. We're going to start at the front. It is cold surfaces out, being December 25th today, so we're going to ride like we're riding in the rain. Plus we have a brand new tire that has a silicone coating on it to help pop out of the mold and preserve shelf life. Our 17-inch rims are going to be extremely athletic for us, but we want to break them in slowly. We have 90-degree valve stems on the spokes that come out here, so it's easy to check our tire pressure and keep our eyes monitoring our tire pressure. We have our big, beautiful Brembo radial-mounted braking system here with our inverted fork legs with steel-braided brake lines behind them leading up to our master cylinder. The machine is going to be water-cooled and oil-cooled. That you have the option of adding some really nice grill work in front of those guys to aesthetically beautify it as well as to protect those components. Being a water-cooled motorcycle, we do have a coolant level check on the side of the fairing here. And that leads us to our big hoses running down for our water cooling system back to our water pump. Next, we're going to look at our oil fill, which is located right here. Twist that counterclockwise and clockwise to tighten back up. And our oil serviceability is on the bottom and front with the oil drain and the oil filter, which is easy to locate that nice spin-on filter. We have our rear braking system that is going to work with our ABS, our anti-lock braking system, with our master cylinder located behind the heel guard, and again, steel braided lines leading up to our ABS module and back out to our rear brake caliper. There is a fluid level and overflow check with the remote reservoir located right near your shock. While we're looking at your shock, you can see that you have the ability to throw a spanner wrench on there and adjust our preload. So coming further back out on this machine is now our exhaust system, our pillion pegs for Heather to enjoy some time on the back of this bad boy, and back to our 17-inch rear wheel. We do have a traction control element with this motorcycle. I'm going to go into the mode selection on that here briefly. First, we're going to hit our tail lamp assembly, which is going to be LED, our turn signals, which have a clear smoke lens with an amber bulb to keep this 50-state compliant. And our lock cylinder is also located back here. This will give us access underneath of our seat, where we're going to have our toolkit, battery, ABS, and other goodies that we don't need to mess with the BMW CAN bus system. We also on the under seat have an area to stash our owner's manual right here under the seat. It's a non-adjustable seat height, so we're going to slip this bad boy back on like she was. Take the key, put it back into the ignition here. On the left side of this motorcycle, we have our side stand, which has a side stand safety switch on it. It is also really close to our oil check, which is a sight glass on the left-hand side. Above that is our cover for our countershaft sprocket and our shift linkage for our 6-speed transmission. We have a clutch actuator rod up here that we can see moving for ourselves, which is not hydraulic, it is cable operated. So this is something that we need to keep an eye on our cable tensions per our quick adjuster up top side. Our adjuster is on the left side perch here, and we have the ability to listen to it click into different distances for friction zone. I want to keep about 1/8 of an inch of play between the perch and the clutch lever here. Next, we're going to go into the actual handlebars and controls. So on the right handlebar control, we are going to have our mode selection. We'll turn the key on so we can see what that actually does for us. As we kick the mode selection on this model, we're going to have the ability to slide between our road modes and our rain modes on instrumentation here. We will click that one time and then click it again to select a different mode. This is something that we can do on the fly. Next is our run cycle switch and our start button. So if we push this start button down now, even though I don't have the clutch pulled in, it will start for us. Going to the left-hand side of the instrument or the handlebar controls, we have our hazard lights, which we can see on the top side where our turn signals and hazards will be. We have our ABS and our traction control. Those are the two lights flashing on the left side of the instrumentation. We can manually override those guys with 1 second burst. I just turned off my traction control. Another hold of that button allows me to slide through this guy and turn off ABS and traction control. Now I'm going to turn ABS off, traction control on. If I cycled my key, it'll turn all of these components down and turn them back on in the safest riding mode possible. ABS and traction control are both on. They will be flashing until we rotate the tires 7 feet, 7 miles an hour or so to let them self-check themselves and verify that they're working. Next, our conventional controls is our horn located at the very bottom, turn signal left and right and push in for cancelization, and our high beam all the way up top, which is a trigger switch. We can intermittently flash that or push forward for a constant high beam, and in the instrumentation it'll be to the left of your neutral light for illumination that you have high beams on. Trip and information. The trip and information will control our instrumentation on the right side of the display. We have odometer, we have range on tank, we have trip 1, we have trip 2, average miles per gallon, average speed, and back to our odometer. With the information button, we're going to go into a lot of lap timer information since she's bred off the S1000XR. We can enter our race information, and you have your best ever lap, your best lap, your last lap, your total, and your delete laps, your best ever delete, and getting out of there because it's all basically just lap timer information. Our setup menu, more importantly, is going to give us things like our equipment setup. We'll go into equipment setup. We can set our timepiece, our brightness of the screen, our tachometer shift light coming on at 7,000 RPMs and coming off at 13.5. That's something you'll adjust as you break in the motorcycle. We have the brightness of our shift light, the frequency of our shift light, which I'm going to show you how that works. We can change that from 4 Hertz to solid on to an 8 Hertz flash to get our attention. 4, on, 8 Hertz. Constant hold that info button to lock it back into place, and then we exit this menu. We got the racetrack setup menu, which is last time hold 3 seconds. It's how long your track information stays up, and just a lot of stuff that we really don't need to get into. It's in your owner's manual. I'd rather not talk about all of our lap timer menu information while we're not on the track. So the last thing I'm going to show you, we're going to exit this setup menu, go back to our normal display, is our white face tachometer, our mode selection, speedometer, fuel meter, and our gear indicator. That's going through all the information on this motorcycle. Now we got a few different little accessories we're going to hit up, like our accessory socket located on the front left side of this motorcycle radiator shroud here. We also have a manually adjustable suspension, so we can help you get that tuned up to your liking as soon as you get to the area where you feel you have enough dexterity in your springs. 600 to 800 miles would be my recommendation. And our screen is manually adjustable. So there are different screens. A nice smoke screen might look good for you. You want to go to a taller screen, something to that nature. But all we do is manually lift and lower this, and you can do it on the fly while you're riding your motorcycle. So this is your 2016 BMW S1000XR from Frontline Eurosports. Thank Heather and give her a big kiss for us as she got you the ultimate BMW Christmas present.